Hello everybody, Jordan here, and today we've got another video for you guys. And as you can see right here, we have the giant MD-80. It's been a long time since I last stated we were going to do something with the giant MD-80s. In fact, the last time I even mentioned it was in the giant 717 video, which is this plane right here. And I said, hey yeah, coming soon is an MD-80, and there was like a huge month gap between that, so yeah, here it is, and here's all the stuff. Before we can begin though, we need to get this clear off the table. This is not just a direct copy and stretch. That's not what the MD-80 is compared to the 717s and MD-90. They're different airplanes, and I feel like McDonnell Douglas, while they are similar, they're different in areas. So I pasted the two vertical stabilizers so you can get a better representation of that. Okay, as you can see, this one on top is different than this one.
Wow!
Yeah, they're different. So then, excuse me, the MD-95 or 717 and the MD-90, they have this different, sharper top that's flatter in comparison to the DC-9 and original MD-80s right here. So yeah, as you can see. Also, the engines are smaller, the wings are larger, the flight deck is completely redone because while the MD-80 is very similar to the 717, there are still changes to it. So that's what we tried to replicate and add to this. So we can begin with this tour. So the first livery, as you can see clearly right here, is Delta Airlines. And it's been such a long time, I don't remember who made these liveries or what. So yeah, as you can see, we have the JC-80 engines. Or is it JC-90? Oh, let me check. I think it's JC-80. What kind of engines does the MD-80 have? Yeah, it does. It's the JC-80. Alright, my apologies there. I look retarded for you MD-80 fans, which I call myself as well, but it's the JC-80. I don't know why I said 9. So, here's the Delta livery, and as you can see, this is in their newer livery, but don't worry, we have the older ones. So we can start the exterior tour of the MD-80, and you can see the differences. So there's a light right there that shines out. So, but then there's this little valve there, where air can come in. And the Mad Dog series have this little airfoil that sticks out on the nose. It looks pretty cool. There's this little red switch thing. I have no idea what it's for. And then you have this little heater tube-like thing. Now, as you can see, the Mad Dogs, they love eyebrows. So, oh, and it's starting to rain. But hey, it looks pretty cool with the rain. So, I mean, look at that. That's cool. We can leave it like that. So, as you can see, we have eyebrows on it. Oh, I do not want to listen to that thunder. No. As you can see, it has eyebrows. And we can also go down here, and it has this little hole behind the gear right here. The entire Mad Dog family at some point had this, so yeah. There's the gear hold where you can go in. Cadence Gear Hold Plus is here. This is where he sits. There's lights for the gear right there. And as you go back to the aircraft, you see the wing is actually bigger than the 717 wing, and it's different. But here's your overwing exit, and they have, the overwing exits with the window in between that. And then we also kind of drew out where the flaps, ailerons, and all that stuff is on the wing. And then there's the little wing light and everything. Detail on that. We have the long little skinny engines. The smoky engines, as you could also say. And then we have the best and worst seats or views on the plane. Some of the best views like right here of the engine and that. And then the worst view where you're blocked by everything. Yeah. And as you can also see, the MD-80s, they have this little blade. It's not a blade really, but it's just a guard, and it's stationary. So this doesn't move, but you go further back. Here's the actual blade that turns. This is just like a cover. It doesn't move. But as you can see the back gear, it's kind of like a little bit of a gravel kit, but it's not necessarily. It kind of is. It's hard to describe really. But they have that on the bottom of it. And here's a little gear door for it. And also, the flap check fairings are completely different on the Mad Dog series, as opposed to maybe we'll say in A320 or 737. So as you can see there, completely different. Look very similar to the MD-11 though. That's something to point out. Now as you can also see, you have the Delta widget in this livery, which was 2007 plus. You can go to the tail and look at the vertical and horizontal stabilizers. So as you see, they're kind of sloped down to mimic stabilizer trim, but yeah. And that little outline, that's also where the stabilizer moves, so it can move up and down for, as I said, stabilizer trim. So the registration is over there with the American flag. I didn't have a lot of space, so it doesn't really say anything, but yeah. Now, this looks oh, that's a screenie for the album. Wow. Looking stellar right there. Let's turn on the FOV. This is where I get a lot of my shots. Clickbait at its finest right there. But besides that, we can continue on to the interior. Now, an important thing to kind of point out about the MD-80s is the L1 door right here is completely different than the R1 door. And I also kind of just realized I said L1 and L2, excuse me, the L1 and what did I say? All I know is in the 767 video that I just uploaded yesterday, I got that wrong. My apologies, but yeah. So this is bigger than the R1 door, but we can enter in. So as we enter into the cabin, as you can see right there, here's the door and here's the exit. So here's this little switch, the handle you can pull to open the door, and there's a little light. You can look outside the exit, and then that. Now there's a little intercom and telephone system to talk to the passengers for anything. And here's a jump seat, and then here's a little workstation and galley. Right here's a lavatory. I don't think, did we model something in here? Whoa, we actually did. Wow. Well, here's a lavatory right here for the MD-80s. They're kind of cramped, a little small, but then again, you don't have a lot of space to work with. So we can go into the cockpit of this marvelous plane. And as you see, it's a lot different than the 717. I kind of love this though. So if you fly Boeing aircraft or Airbus aircraft, I say throw that out the window because McDonnell Douglas will throw you a curveball really. So it's kind of a completely different setup. So as you can see, the MCP right here, and the MCP itself is completely different than most of the Boeings I've worked with. Yeah, you have your yoke and you have your foot pedals down here with your brakes, your seats, and these are little, oh, took a screenshot for some reason, wow. And these little black things, that's a seat belt harness that goes around you right there, and this is where, you know, it fastens. So yeah. Now, back when we originally released the 717, we put iPads in them, and we decided to keep it, so we put a little iPad right there, so that's what the little thing is. So yeah. Now as you can see, here's the instrumentation. It's a bit of a different color than the Boeing, so here's the pitch, it shows your pitch and all of that. And you know, here's another indicator for that. This is your huge throttle. Now the MD-80 uses steam gauges, so that's why we have little just blocks right there. Here's your little gear hold, and then it's like the same thing control wise over there. So as you see, the throttle is completely different, and here's the trim wheel and everything else in the throttle, and it's completely different than a lot of the more typical airliners we see today. And back here is more of the systems and that. And over here, this is where a lot of the functionality happens. The layout is completely different than, we'll say, a 737 or Boeing layout or an Airbus, but yeah. So, yep, here's all the more boring stuff. I originally remember we put some sound in for this. I don't know of it. Yeah, I forget. So, I mean, it doesn't, I could care less anyways. Here's, you know, circuit breaker and all that. But yeah. Yeah. Oh, hi. Hi, taxi. How you doing, mate? Well, we can continue on. Hi. We can continue with the tour. And here's the, you know, Delta Business, or, you know, we're kind of first class, whatever you want to call this. It's the luxurious region of the MD-80. So, there's only 3 rows of this, at least with the seat map I looked at. It could be 4, who knows. But yeah. Hi. And then you have a Delta Comfort Plus right here, and the seats are a bit different. As you can see, they're more thick than the traditional seats. And as you see, it's also 3-2 seating because of how wide it is. 3-3 seating would not work at all in this aircraft, but yeah. So, yeah. Some airlines such as AirTran did, I think AirTran did 2-3 seating instead of 3-2, so yeah. So you have more, this seat has more space than those seats, that's a problem. Okay, you can look out here, no wing. And yeah, and then here's basic economy. Zooming around, yeah. Now, a cool thing I like to kind of point out right here is how we've made the systems right here. You know, here's your flight attendant. Oh. Well, that was the flight attendant call button until I stupidly pressed it. And here's where you can turn on your little air conditioning right here. There's 2 right here for this person. And there's an individual one right there. And over here, you just have 2 right there. Yeah. And I just destroyed the flight attendant call button. But here's the roof of the aircraft, and we can go back. There's a lot of rows of this. And here's actually the rear exit. Now, some airlines put like excuse me, I was going to say bar, wow, they don't do that. They either put a galley or something, but with Delta, they just have this. And in the rear area, here's the rear air stairs, and then there's lavatories right here, and all of that. And that's mostly it. It's very similar to the 717, but, you know, it's not. Now, the video, unfortunately, is not over yet, but we have a ton of deliveries to go through, and oh my gosh, that's a screenie right there. Going for the album. As we continue down with our line of deliveries, as you can see, we have the Americano MD-83, and also that's an MD-88. Oh, that's also a screenie right there too. Come on, get it before the chunks still. No, the chunks are ruining it. I gotta try that shot again. That was too good of a shot right there. That's a screeny right there. Going to the desktop. As we can continue down our liveries, as I was originally saying, we have an American Airlines MD-83, because American, they don't operate the MD-88, they only operated, I believe, 81. I know they operated the 82 and 83, but I'm not sure about the 81 and 80s, but yeah. And if you're all questioning, what's the difference between all of them? It's basically very small things, differences with the maximum takeoff weight, you know, some avionic changes and stuff. So yeah. But as you can see, it's in the old livery. Again, I forget who made this one. I know I did parts of it, but yeah. Now, I prefer the MD-80s for American with the black nose. I used to have a little model with it, so the black radar nose is installed on this one, and that's what we have. So we also have the little One World sticker right there for American. As you can see, we also kind of blurred out the that moment when you forget what that's called. Eyebrows. Yes, I just said it. That was the sad part about it too. Yeah, and also to point out, the rear exit is not on this side too. It's only on the left side. Yeah, and you can look at the very iconic American Airlines tail for this aircraft. And we also have the tail cone, which comes off when for an emergency evacuation. We also get to see the detail on the engines right here of how they have these two little spikes at the end of the engine. One's higher than the other, so you can see the detail of that with the pylon right there. That's gotta be a screeny right there. So we continue down. There's more liveries to go through, and we have the very world famous, I'm being sarcastic, but Allegiant Airlines. And you know this airline oh, I forgot to mention, this one has an interior. I am so sorry. Yes, for the American airline fans watching the video, I apologize. I almost passed up your entire airline. Here's the interior of American Airlines. It's very nice. I would not mind flying an MD-80. In fact, I'm trying to get on American MD-80 before they're out of service. But if that fails, we still have Delta. But as we can keep going down the line, as I originally said, we have an Allegiant Airlines MD-82 or 83, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, so I remember this was one of Hill's first liveries he ever did, where he wrote Allegiant, and he did an outstanding job of that. So, travel is our deal. So yeah. In case you've been living under a rock, which I doubt you guys have, Allegiant isn't necessarily the best in terms of safety ratings as of now, because they're always in the headlines of, oh look, something broke down. Oh wow. I mean, I would not be afraid to fly them. I would love to fly on Allegiant sooner or later before all their MD-80s are out of service. So yeah. Also, you can create a super clickbaity title if you fly on Allegiant, even if nothing wrong happens. You can create the number of titles I see where people are saying, I almost died on Allegiant Airlines. Yes, it's like, yeah. I even watched some of the videos and nothing goes wrong, but yeah. So, sorry for my little rant right there, but, had to stick it for Allegiant. So here's the tail, and this is a pretty nice looking sun. I'm a little disappointed with their new livery they're implementing on their A320s, but yeah. Travel is our deal. So, as you can see, looks pretty nice. This was a pain in the neck to flip, though. So we can go on the interior, and as you can see, it's all economy, but it's still nice. I would not mind flying on it, especially right near the engines where all the noise is. And I kind of mean that too. I mean the MD-80 has a beautiful sound. But next up in liveries, you have Alitalia, and this livery was originally made by Dush, but he never finished it, so Taxi just finished it. So kudos, Taxiway, looks great. And unfortunately, I believe this airline is out of service. I could be wrong. I always hear about it and nothing happens. So I believe they are out of service now, which is kind of sad, but yeah. They also have the Tech Super 80, but we never finished it right there on the engine. And here's the tail. So we can continue down. We have this Delta livery. When someone texts you and you text them back in 0.0092 seconds, but you get no response. That sucks, mate. So here we have a retro Delta livery, which is one of my more favorite ones. Was in service from around the 90s. Was in service in the 90s, and looks pretty stellar if you ask me. So it's one of my more favorite Delta airline liveries, made by Rowan and Dush. So I mean, I just love seeing the classic Delta widget. Oh, whoa, wait, what? It's different on this side than this side. Whoa, 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 whoa. What? Well, I don't know. Just pretend like it's fine. But, you know, here's the classic Delta MD-80, and one of my more favorite liveries of them. It just looks beautiful. Just look at it. Just great job, Delta. And then here's some 717s. I don't know why we have them here, but in case you are a new subscriber or something, you never saw the 717 video, well, here's some liveries. Here's Hawaiian Airlines, if you can keep going down. And there's the tail, right there. The tail for Hawaiian right there, even though they just got a new livery. Here's Midwest. Again, if you did not see the 717 video, I advise watching it. So, yeah, but here's just the liveries in case you missed it. Midwest Airlines. Qantas Link, because a lot of you guys really do love Qantas, so here's Qantas Link for you. With the tail. Come on, come on, come on. Can the chunks load? There we go. There's Qantas Link for you. And then here's a fictional Southwest, because I'm still butthurt over the fact they didn't keep the 717s and just passed them on to Delta. Hurts my feelings a lot. But next we have Iberia, and they don't operate this aircraft anymore, I think. But yeah. And, you know, again, livery by Dust DJ, looks pretty good. Outstanding job right there. Love the colors and everything. And we get the classic Iberia tail. Looks great. And our second to last livery is Scandinavian Airlines, SAS. And, you know, looks pretty stellar right there. You know, gotta represent the land of potato. So, looks great. And by the phrase the land of potato, I'm talking about General Potato Head. You know, he's a huge fan of not Norwegian. He's a huge fan of SAS, and he's Norwegian, so yeah. Yeah. And our final livery is a McDonnell Douglas house livery, which they implemented on their MD-80s, which looks pretty cool, honestly, with the McDonnell Douglas text. Again, Doohill was one of the main people who'd come on and do the livery, especially on the tail, because this was a kick in the butt to make. But yeah. And then we also have one that's in the air back here, but I mean, nobody cares. It's just the same thing, only in the air. It's floating down the runway, as you can see. But yeah. But anyway, if you guys have enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and smack that like button for more Minecraft madness. And if you've enjoyed what you've seen with all this airplane junk, I suppose, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. Anyway, I'm Jordan. Thanks for watching.